Even though August is hot, the weather is stable. So if you like to bass fish, plan your trip late in the afternoon into the evening. And if you guys like the saltwater fish, get out early while the water temps are still cool. This is the one and only Texas Insider Fishing Report.
Welcome to the Texas Insider Fishing Report. Presented by Yamaha.
You're watching the Texas Insider Fishing Report. We're your hosts, Brie Gabrielle and Captain Rick Murphy. And today we're talking about fishing reports from all over the state, but more specifically, we're dialing in on the ladies, right, Rick?
Absolutely, Brie. You know, the cool part about this is that all our captains have been instructed to find out about tournaments that have ladies divisions, or maybe fishing clubs that have ladies divisions, or maybe just simply going fishing and where ladies can be more exposed, like Ladies Let's Go Fishing.
Exactly.
Are there people that put on events that are strictly to help ladies be more exposed to them?
Exactly, that's what we're going to talk about today. But let's head on over to the CCA workbench to say hi to Dave, who knows all about getting the ladies into fishing, don't you, Dave?
Boy, there's so many double entendres.
So many.
I can't even grasp it.
You're not
My
even
little brain.
there.
We're going to talk about how to fight a fish so that it's a little easier on the angler. It doesn't matter if it's a man or a woman, really.
Exactly. All right, starting us out in the Lower Coast region today is Captain Chad Kinney. Chad, I know there's tournaments going on all the time in your region, so tell us how the ladies can get out there.
I tell you what, sure will. Starting out with the fishing's been on fire. It's been hot, but it's been great. The inshore, Lower Laguna Madre redfish are showing up on the flats. Offshore really turned up with good numbers of billfish being released and plenty of action on the deeper shrimp boats. But like I said, starting out with the ladies here, tell you what, it's been an upcoming trend I've seen for quite a while here at the store and fishing and guide and all the above. There's been a lot more women fishing the bay and offshore, which is great. There's a local tournament coming up here August 10th and 11th out of South Padre Island, Ladies Kingfish Tournament. It's been going on for a long time. It's really a great event. Like I said, out of South Padre, both inshore and offshore for women's anglers. So the inshore, they do the trout, redfish, and flounder. Offshore, we're doing the kingfish, dorado, blackfin tuna, and bonita. So it's plenty of action. It's a one-day tournament. And the women, it's just a great deal. The guys still get to go along. We're captaining or we're doing a deck cannon, but we're not allowed to touch rods and reels and stuff. We just shag things for them and help them out. But like I said, and it's been coming up. There's a whole lot more. Even the outdoor clothing manufacturers are recognizing this, such as like the AFTO and stuff like that. Just came out some women apparel lines here in this past year. We brought some in the store here at Laguna Madre Bay in Mansfield, and heck, we're already sold out of shirts and shorts and stuff. So there's been a lot more going on. And to prove that here, I've been fishing, of course, for years, but got a good picture here of dorado and blackfin tuna. So that's my mother-in-law. And my daughter, Kirsten Kinney. We got Granny B and Kirsten, and Erica's taking the picture. So we got 3 generations of people fishing. And that's an annual event we do.
That's awesome, Chad. All right, what you got for us inshore?
I tell you what, like I said, the redfish are showing up in the flats, which is good. I was expecting to be a little bit later, but they're showing up now on the grass and the sand and stuff like that. So they're showing up in the sand edges and the grass like that. Basically, if you go on the flats here from south of the land cut there, all the way to South Padre, a huge area there, but they're showing up there. Just look for bait moving and look for wakes pushing up real shallow early. And if you see that, pushing through there, try some Rapala skitter walks real early in the calmer days. And weedless gold spoons are definitely a go-to. Try an 1/8 ounce or 1/4 ounce, works really well. Do a quicker retrieve on that gold spoon. Wake fishing is a lot more productive when you're doing this stuff, in my opinion. You can drift, but it's a lot better if you're out deeper because these fish can spot your ways out. So try some wake fishing. It's really good. Spread your anglers out even so you can cover more water. Cast at 10, 12, and 2. Spread your guys out so you're not casting in the same water. Look for those wakes, like I said, fishing early. And as the day goes on, if you start out in the sand and that bait slowly starts falling off, go ahead and fall out deeper to maybe knee-deep water or so, mid-thigh water up on that grass there, and you'll have good success on those redfish. So on the offshore's been excellent. It's been on billfish out deeper from 300 feet on out. Good numbers are coming in. Deeper shrimp boats and shallower shrimp boats as well. They've been producing good stuff on blackfin tuna and kingfish. So like I said, there's been plenty of kingfish offshore. Water clarity is really coming up. It's getting a lot better. Blue waters move in a lot closer. So when that happens, you can definitely use like a Rapala diver, 20 to 40 foot, 30 foot right there. They'll really do that. They'll work well. Make sure you use a wire leader on that from breaking off to a haywire twist or whatever like that. ribbon fish work really well also. If you guys are drifting or if you're anchored up, use a 3-hook rig like that with wire also. Just remember when you're using that wire leader, you got a hit or after every fish. Kind of check it out so you don't get a kink, so you don't lose the next one and it'll pop off. You got to just re-rig it. And also check your drags, make sure those kings will make one big run first. So don't set it too tight and try to stop them. Just kind of let them run, get the energy out, kind of creep up a little bit and put the heat on them. And the best area to do this stuff is fish over any structure you got, whether it's oil rigs, reefs, your natural structure, and behind shrimp boats works really well there too. And since we're talking about the ladies, I got a picture of Erica here from a previous year for a ladies kingfish tournament. You can see a big old picture of kingfish here. I believe that one weighed 48 pounds.
Man,
Nice.
she's
You
got
go,
some
girl.
guns, dude.
Yeah.
Sun's out,
Yeah,
guns
people-
out. He's got them.
keep them going. So then moving on to the billfish, like I said, there's been billfish in really good numbers for down here, 300 feet out deeper. There's out to the deeper domes and stuff like that on the lower coast. There's been some blues caught, white marlin, sailfish being released. Tift is this coming weekend here this 3rd and 4th, stuff like that. So pull rig, ballyhoo, also some mid-range lures are really, really good. Mold craft, black barks like that works good on your outriggers as well. Put your chuggers if you want to go for some bigger stuff like the blues and stuff. Put your chuggers on flat lines and on your center rigger if you want to FTs or something like that. Creates more action. It works really good. It works really good. I'll be down at Tift actually this coming weekend for the 3rd and 4th here. Where this weekend we're fishing, so I'll be there under Bam Bam. We'll be weighing in there hopefully. And I got a picture of a white marlin here on a good jump when it's hooked up. So good stuff.
Chad, I think
That's a cool
I think
picture.
next year, Chad, I'm just gonna come the last week of July and the first 2 weeks of August to just live at your house and go fishing with you, man. All
Yeah,
right?
I'll join them.
So bring Brie for LKT. We'll put her on the kingfish tournament.
All
Sounds good to
right.
me.
Sounds like we're going
Gotta
to
get
Texas.
them guns out.
All right, we're gonna go ahead and take a look at the hot spots from the lower coast region. Chad says inshore on the lower Laguna Madre for redfish are showing up in the flats, and then offshore, good numbers of billfish being released and plenty of offshore action off deeper on those shrimp boats.
So is that a promise, Rick? We're gonna go stay with Chad?
I got you, Mom.
Okay.
All right.
Thanks.
Better,
what?
Never mind.
Oh, Dave's coming too.
Supply.
Yeah.
Okay.
Our captain in the Middle Coast region sure knows how to get the girls out on the water and make some good lady anglers out of them. So, Captain Bink, tell us.
What you got?
Yeah, my 2 favorite fishing partners are my wife and daughter. Man, we go out and we do a little vacation every year. We just got back from Louisiana fishing with Towfield Bourgeois and Lafitte, and I took a little vacation from fishing to go fishing, but I love doing it with my ladies. I tell you, in Matagorda, we have the lingerie on the bay every September. It's an inshore event and a ladies-only event. And then this past weekend in Matagorda, we had the Mermaid Offshore Tournament, Kingfish, Ling, Dorado, and just a good time. A lot of ladies out there. And then and Rockport has the Babes on the Bay every year in May, so it's a pretty good event. And more women are stepping up on my boat every year, and I like it. One, because they listen. They listen and normally take everything I say and kind of apply it, not like hard-headed men, do. So that's what I like about the ladies. And we got plenty of ladies here in Matagorda along the whole Middle Coast that are trying to catch that big trout in the CCA Star, and I see them every day. We've got some real strong lady anglers in our area trying to catch those big trout, so it's a good thing. We like seeing it. I tell you, this past week our surf was on fire for topwaters, skitter walks and she dogs and super spokes. We got in there like 4 days straight, and it was all you wanted on topwaters in the first gut at first light. Those surf trout love dog walking plugs, and it's just something about a surf trout. It has another gear to it. It's not on the top of the food chain in the ocean like it is in the bay, so it's pretty good time. There's large shrimp and scores of pogies and mullet right on the beach, and those big trout are shadowing them. And if you see, we saw a lot of shrimp bound into the surface. Make a cast to it, and you're going to get hooked up. Tides are still low, kind of winter-like tides. Been 4 months, never seen tides this low, but we're just adapted to it. East Matagorda Bay, the cuts and the guts along the north shoreline held good trout. The bay's been off-colored somewhat with southwest winds, but that ICW has remained green. When you get a green oncoming tide from the ditch, those trout ride it right in the bay. We've been intercepting them in the cuts on down south lures, Little Johns and Bass Sass and Sea Shad. Port O'Connor guide Lynn Smith says all that stuff around Pascaval has held the best bite. The old Coast Guard station and the Army Hole are holding good trout with the low tides. There's lots of trout tight in the rocks there in the jetty on live shrimp and mirror lures. Some of those guys are walking the rocks at sunrise and tossing top waters for big trout. And Lynn said he's had fish up to 23 inches, and a lot of times he's done by 7:30. Then in Rockport, Rhett Price said, our temperatures have been hot, but it's an early morning bite there. He's tossing those mirror lure custom double Ds in the Gringo and Pearl Harbor colors. And he said lately, Artificials has actually outfished live bait. So that's pretty odd. In Freeport, the jetty's been the best bet for the bite on live shrimp. Many of the bays around there are running 2 feet, so they're kind of in a winter pattern. They're holding close to deeper water. In San Luis Pass this past week, when the surf got right, San Luis Pass was on fire, and all that surf from Surfside all the way to Freeport. There's a photo there of a pier angler caught at night under the lights there at my lodge, and man, there's just a lot of fish at night, a lot of fish on the jetty. It's just been really good. We'll go inshore redfish. Tides are the lowest of the summer again, so the redfish are in the same spot they are in the wintertime. Good catches are at Mitchell's Cut and Sargent, or I caught some pogies, and then Carolina rigged pogies and mullet are good at the jetty. We caught limits of trout Sunday morning in the surf. All you wanted till 7:15. Went to the jetty, caught limits of reds, and we looked at each other at 8:30 and said, "What do we do now?" So it was been pretty good. And there's a lot of schools of red circling in the middle of the bay because there's just not enough water on the shorelines there. We're drifting on them out there in the middle, working slick, throwing gulps and live shrimp under a mid-coast popping cork, and taking limits of fish. We'll go offshore at Kingfish. Guide Michael Quebeca said, man, the kingfish are everywhere. They're inside the beaks. They're coming within the jetty. And they're taking what he's been doing is catching the limits of trout in the morning, then going out and catching kings later in the morning. There's lots of shrimp boats in the Gulf, and a lot of people are getting behind those shrimp boats and trolling for those kings with Rappalas and a ballyhoo, and they're also catching cobia and dorado along with them. There's lots of wahoo along the weed lines there from Freeport to Port Aransas, and lots of triple tail on those weed lines as well. I tell you what, we had a big old school of tarpon roll through here. Been in there for the last 3 or 4 days, and Quebeca got on some 100 to 120 pounders. I know that a lot of people don't know that we got tarpon like that in Texas, but when the ocean gets right, when the Gulf gets calm, and they're there and they're right off the beach right now, and getting them on mullet, pogies, croakers, and then throwing coon pops at them. So we're going to try to do that the rest of the week. We're supposed to have more calm weather coming, so we're going to try to get on that beach all week.
I like it, Bink. All right, thank you so much. We're going to go take a look at the hot spots from the Middle Coast region. The surf from Surfside to Port Aransas is good for trout on sheep pup, skitterwalks, and super spooks for waders. And then live baiters can toss pogies and croakers in the first gut with quick success. Tarpon are good along the beaches and at Port O'Connor jetties with drifted mullet and menhaden for the poon. You know what happens? He starts talking about tarpon and I can't even function. I want to follow the tarpon from the Florida Keys through the Panhandle into Louisiana and into Texas. Don't you think that'd be cool? We should film it, documentary.
Exactly.
Tarpon documentary.
Exactly. Bink's got a lot going on in his region.
Yeah, man.
All right, we're checking out what our Lower Fresh region has to offer next here on the Texas Insider Fishing Report. But first, we want to visit Dave Ferrell at CCA Workbench for Rigs and Techniques, where Rick and I will be joining you.
Yes, we're talking about ladies fishing and ladies fashion, because when we're going to get them out and dress them up in this thing, you know there's going to be something big on the other end.
And that sure is fashionable.
That's right.
We'll be right back.
It looks good.
Come on.
The Texas Insider Fishing Report is brought to you by Yamaha. Reliability starts here. The American Fishing Tackle Company. Any fish, any water. Since 1958. Guy Harvey, marine wildlife artist and conservationist. And CCA Texas, a leader in marine conservation.
Yamaha's 4.2-liter V6 offshore 4-strokes. For those that like their V6 lighter, faster, and stronger. Setting new standards for power, efficiency, speed, and lightweight. Built for the rigors of offshore boating. Packed with Yamaha's legendary reliability. And now Yamaha's 4.2-liter V6 four-strokes offer a choice between digital or mechanical controls to match your rigging preference. Yamaha, reliability starts here.
Remember the glory days of gasoline? It's just not made the same anymore. Kick your gas into gear with StarTron. Pump up the performance in all of your engines. Cure the problems of ethanol with the power of enzymes. And maximize your mileage every time you drive. Kickstart your engines with StarTron.
Outside is a bully. There are bears, screaming fleet-footed waters. Arrogant mountains. Goliaths. 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 And 100 other excuses to stay inside. But there are ways to deal with bullies.
CCA is the largest marine conservation group of its kind, with 70,000 members in Texas. CCA's mission is dedicated to conserve, promote, and enhance the present and future availability of our coastal resources for the benefit and enjoyment of the general public. So if you care about the health of our Texas coastal resources, join CCA today by going to their website, ccatexas.org, and help them make a difference. Use the promo code REDFISH to receive your free hat with your membership. CCA, the leader in marine conservation.
So we're here at the CCA workbench, and
All of
we've
us.
added a little
All of us.
something new, Bree. You know what? We're going to
Yes,
talk
I'm
about
here.
fighting fish
Correct.
with harness, but you know, you don't
Correctly.
have to be. I think Dave and I both agree that most of the time women, they don't try to muscle their way through it. As Bink said, they're a lot better listeners.
Yeah.
And once you guys
Hard heads, yeah.
understand what the technique is,
Correct.
you guys are much better at doing it. So let's just
Yeah.
get right into
Agreed.
it, Dave.
First off, you
I
got to
totally
realize
agree.
that you're not a winch. Well,
Right?
maybe.
Wow.
Maybe a little bit of a winch, but you know what I mean. You're not a winch. You're not
get
gonna.
it.
You're not gonna wind the fish
So-
to you. You're gonna have
Yeah.
to bring him to you.
This is a 20-pound spinning rod, heavy action Akuma, and we got it loaded up with 40-pound braid.
Right.
And so, Bree, most of the time, the mistakes that women make is they go underneath the armpit, they go underneath the other thing.
Here, really.
Yeah, and it gets
everywhere.
you get bruised everywhere, and a lot of the rods have a funny gimbal.
They do.
and
they'll
they
hurt
hurt
ya.
you. So
They hurt, they leave bruises. It's not a good thing. So then we have cushiots, which are great, that go on the end here. And if you don't have a cushiot, you can always use a koozie, which I've used many
Correct.
times. And you can do that, and it really takes all the pressure off.
So what is the key, Bree, to really being able to maximize your effort and not necessarily hurt yourself, but wear the fish down?
So when you first start fighting a fish, a lot of people, they do this with their bicep to pull up. That works for a few minutes and, for smaller fish, but once you start getting into bigger fish, you're gonna wanna bend your knees and use your body and keep this triangle here to fight
Right.
the fish. So you're using your body weight instead of your bicep, which can get
Again,
really
and you're
tiring.
not a winch either.
Right,
So,
you're not a winch.
And when you pull back like that, and you see the line coming off, the
Yeah.
spool's turning. That means that you're not pulling on the fish, you're just pulling the drag, and you're just working your back for no reason at all. If the line is going out, you don't wind, and if you're pulling back and the line starts to go out, stop pulling back, because you're just doing the work. We want the fish to pull the drag,
Exactly.
not you.
Wind the slack there, Bree. Now the technique, whether it's conventional or spinning, is what, Dave? Pump up,
Pull it back, get
pump the rod up.
You don't want to get too high, because I'll be honest with you, your rod does most of its work right
And
above
then-
your eyebrows. Once you get
that
above your
center there.
eyebrows, all you're doing,
Using your back.
you're using your back, and the rod stops working. So
Right.
I always work from about a foot off the water up to about eye level. Foot off the water, eye level. And you start to reel before you start to go down.
Right.
That way you're not stuck on that drag. If you're up here and you're waiting, you reel and then go down, and you'll keep a good bend in the rod.
Exactly.
And
So what-
every boat should have one of these on it. This is a shoulder harness, and every boat should have one of these on it. pre-adjusted to the angler before she hooks up. You know,
or
he or he, whatever. And so what you're going to do is you're going to have this thing hooked up and
now, Dave,
adjusted properly so that your reel isn't too close or too far away from your body. The closer the reel is to your body, the more motion you'll have when you go back and forth.
Which
if
is
it's
the same kind of
correct.
deal.
If you're too far away, you could be moving and the rod and reel won't work as well. When it's closer to you, then when you move, it really moves and really moves the end of the rod, and you can get a really good bend in it.
Right.
And you like the back harness because it can be used for conventional and a spinning rod,
Correct.
right?
We have a little doohickey on here that you can just wrap around a spinning reel.
Around the rod butt.
And exactly. Right up here. You can also use zip ties. If you don't have one of those little straps, you can put a couple of zip ties onto the spinning reel and hook your straps to it.
Oh,
now,
hook the clips.
Hook the clips straight to the zip ties. Now I've seen a rod go into the water that way, but you know.
So where do we make a mistake, Dave? What are the mistakes we make when we're using harnesses and belts?
Mostly, again, is not looking at the spool when you're working the fish. Again, you're not a winch. You can't just wind the fish to you. You're going to have to move it. And what that entails is leaning back, trying to get as much lift as you can,
Literally
and then starting
all
to
my body
wind.
weight.
And starting to wind before. And getting that
pulling
crank.
back.
Now, especially important when you're using a reel like this 2-speed reel, when you get to a point where you can't wind, you put it in second gear. And now you can crank like crazy. You know, you put it in low gear, and you can get cranks on it when you can't crank when you're in high gear.
Well,
and that's a good thing about you know, if you're using 30-pound test tackle or higher, get a 2-speed reel.
Brie,
Exactly.
It helps a lot.
one thing I can say is in the last 5 years, you have become a badass mama angler.
Well, thank you.
And I want you to know, I wasn't able to say
I've
mama
learned
before.
it all from you and you, so I'm going to give you guys that, all
All
right?
right, so where are we going next?
All right, well, our guide, Matt Reed, has some suggestions for the ladies getting on the water in our Yeti Lure Fresh region. So listen up if you're planning on Lake Falcon, Bastrop, Georgetown, Somerville, or Fayette County this weekend. Hey, Matt.
Hey, how are y'all kicking?
Good.
Pretty good.
That's a good thing.
So what you got, Matt?
What I got? Let's get this thing started. Hey, all you ladies out there, there's not that many lady-only fishing events that I know of in my region in South Texas. But ladies, you should never hesitate to get involved. It would surprise you how many, surprise you to know how many of my customers are ladies. I have a ton of ladies that come on guide trips, come with their husbands or boyfriends, or just come with another friend. Don't be self-conscious about it, about going fishing with the guys. You know, I'll cater my style of fishing to match your skill level, and we will have a really good time, an enjoyable day, and hopefully find you that fish of a lifetime, or at least catch a bunch of fish to get you hooked on the sport. Just do it. Don't think about it. Don't worry about it. We'll have a great time. Any of the obstacles that you think exist really don't. Just come on. We'll have a good time. You know, and I've attached several pictures there of lady clients with big old bass that they've caught with me down here at Lake Falcon.
Nice.
Those are awesome.
Nice, Matt.
If you're a lady, got to go fishing with Matt Reed.
That's
Look
right.
At that.
That's right. Wow, those are some really monster bass, man. Do you have to be a lady to come fish with you, Matt?
No.
Definitely do not, Rick.
All
I
right.
might even be able to put you on one.
All right, well, I might have to come down there and experience it. Let's go ahead and talk about some bass fishing. What you got?
I'm going to start off with Falcon since I'm down here right now. It continues to roll. I'm catching really good numbers with several big ones most every day. Big crankbaits and chartreuse patterns are working well, but my strongest pattern has been throwing soft plastics in the plum color to the rock humps and ledges in that 15 to 22 foot of water. One thing that's working right now, don't ignore a drop shot on 8-pound line. I've been catching some really big ones on that in areas that have been pressured. That light line will get you bites when some of the bigger tackle that you used to won't. I'm going to go on up to Lake Bastrop. Schoolies are real strong early in the morning in the back of some of the ditches. You can catch a lot of fish in that first hour and a half, throwing top waters and those swim baits. Later in the day, move out to the
the deeper areas, and you can catch a lot of fish on the shaky head, trick worms or small ball head jigs out in that 15 to 20 foot of water. Lake Georgetown has some schooling action also. They're schooling early in the morning in the back of pockets, throwing small top waters and swim baits to catch those fish when they're schooling. After the sun gets up, a lot of them are moving out to that 12 to 20 foot deep water on the ledges out there in points. Those fish are biting shaky head finesse worms and green pumpkin shades really well. One of the bonuses at Lake Georgetown, it's got smallmouth in it. Don't have that in too many lakes here in Texas, but it's a lot of fun to catch a big old smallmouth. They're out on the humps in about 25 feet of water right now. Fayette County Lake is still fishing really good. The shallow fish early in the mornings are eating topwater frogs along the reeds and swim jigs around the grass beds, around the hydrilla and stuff. After the sun gets up again, summertime, you're going to have to move out to that deeper water. Out on the main lake, at 15 to 20 foot of water on the main lake points, they're biting pretty well on Carolina rigs and shaky heads. Dark color plastics has been the key. June bug and black have been working really well. So one of the keys with this summer heat is slow down. You can't move that plastic very fast at all to get many bites. One of the ways that I control that is I'll move that plastic at the bottom and move it a little bit. I actually take my hand off the handle, put it by my side, just to keep me from moving it, and then I'll bump it with my rod hand, move it just a little bit, and then wind up the slack and barely move it again. That key will get you a few more bites every day. Lake Somerville, the bass are biting pretty well. Out on the riprap on the dam, they're also in the brush piles out in that 15-foot range, using small jigs with crawl worm type trailers and a shaky head with a finesse worm. That's what I've got for the largemouth this week.
All right, Matt. Well, thank you so much. You got some hybrid or some stripers for us this week?
That's some hybrids at Lake Somerville. They've been biting really well in that 6 to 14 foot of water. The white bass have on small grubs and slab spoons. The hybrids are mixed in with them and are right around the edges also. One of the best ways to catch a big hybrid is on a live bluegill or shad. Fish it on the bottom with weight and a free swimming hook so you can target those big hybrids. Another way you can catch some of them is just on a half or 3/4 ounce jig head rigged with a sassy shad type swim bait. A lot of fun to catch those whites and hybrids.
All right, great report from the Yeti Lower Fresh region. We're going to go ahead and take a look at the hot spots. Matt says Falcon Lake is fishing really well. Concentrate on the mid to lower lake on rock humps or ledges in 15 to 22 feet of water. Plum-colored plastics will get the job done. Brie.
That's right, Rick. And before you know it, the kids will be back in school. Yeah. So while you begin shopping for new clothes and backpacks, why not shop for a life-changing scholarship, eh?
Right?
Right? The Star Tournament is giving away over $6.5 million in scholarships and is giving away $325,000 again this year with plenty of time to win. Youth ages 6 through 17 enter for free with their $10 CCA membership. So get registered and get out to claim your scholarship. That's crazy, $6.5 million.
That's a lot of money to go to kids, man.
Yes, it is. All right, well, coming up on the Texas Insider Fishing Report, we're motoring north to the Upper Coast and fresh regions. We're right here, so stay afloat. And remember, for all things fishing in Texas, visit our website, like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, and view and tag us on Instagram. We'll be right back.
The Texas Insider Fishing Report is brought to you by Contender Boats, always in the game. Bass Assassin and Saltwater Assassin, the best lures, period. CCA Star, fishing fun for giant prizes and scholarships. And Costa Sunglasses, see what's out there.
Master your most challenging offshore experience with confidence and ease with Yamaha Helmmaster. Precise, intuitive control on the open seas. Unrivaled ease for maneuvering and docking in port. And now SetPoint adds 3 new dimensions to boat control. Maintain boat position with fish point, or a position and heading with stay point, or a heading while you drift with drift point. Yamaha Helmmaster, now with SetPoint. Complete digital control for today's larger offshore boats.
As close as you're gonna get to a sure thing for catching billfish is Guatemala.
They're here, man. This has been a 20-year run, buddy. These things haven't left. There's no cycle.
When it comes to sail fishing, this is the real deal.
The amount of sailfish here is ridiculous.
Today's Power Pole tip of the week is about what do you do when the water's too deep to touch the bottom? Well, I'm going to tell you some of the things that I look for is how am I going to stop my boat? Now, as you know, some guys use their trolling motor and they lock the boat in position. What I found in tarpon fishing is if the trolling motor's running, most likely I'm not going to be able to get close to the fish that I want to catch because of the movement of the boat, not necessarily the noise. But by using my power poles and looking for something that may be overhanging or submerged, because of the unique designs and the way the poles go out to the side, I use the spike and hook it on something that's submerged. Maybe it's an undercut bank in a creek. For you guys that are bass fishing, you can stick the spike in a bush, and guess what? It will hold you in place. 20 feet of water is not a problem when you have stuff that is coming up to the surface. So keep that in mind. It's a pretty cool secret that I have, and that's today's Power Pole tip of the week. So Brie, you get that you can have submerged trees and whatnot, and all you got to do is drop your power poles down there to it. If it can reach it, now you can use that as an anchor.
Yeah.
So whether you're bass fishing or you're fishing, the oyster beds in Galveston Bay, a lot of it'll still work.
Yep, hug a tree.
Hug a tree, hug something.
All right, let's see how the ladies are faring on the waters in the Captain Caleb's Upper Coast region, shall we? Caleb, talk to us.
Hey. Well, yeah, talking about these ladies fishing, there's several different programs around the Upper Coast that are committed to introducing ladies to fishing. The Texas Lady Anglers is a great group that holds seminars, group trips, and tournaments. So ladies of various skill levels can come together, to network and learn and, mentor amongst the group. There's also a bunch of different tournaments exclusively for women, including the Jackie's Brick House, Beauties on the Bay tournament, the Sisters Helping Sisters tournament out of San Leon, the CCA Galveston Ladies Fishing Tournament, and the Broads with Rods tournament out at Bastrop. And there's several other tournaments that happen all throughout the year. So if you're a lady that's wanting to get more involved in the fishing, go check out a couple of those groups and you can learn more. And then going to our inshore species, the redfish has still been the most consistent inshore species that we've been able to target up here. There's several different options right now for chasing reds. And Sabine, the redfish have been prevalent on the jetties like they've been on year, and on humps and structure along the ship channel throwing crankbait. Working visible bait along the grass on the Louisiana shoreline with paddle tails and topwaters have been a good option as well. And moving over to Galveston Bay, the open water schools are still going to be a player whenever the wind is down. Just make sure that trolling motor is charged and cast a big spoon or big swim bait into track and split. In the marsh and back lakes around Goat Island, Green Lake, and all around the intercoastal in between have been holding redfish as well. Just look for mud bulls or wakes and throw small paddle tails, wake baits, or small topwaters, and you'll do good. In West Bay, the redfish will stay consistent around the grass on the north shoreline, so just throw soft plastics rigged on a 16th-ounce jig head into the sand pocket, and the reds will be all over it. And there's a picture there of one of my lady clients, Chelsea Burns, with a nice red. Her and her husband, Nate, they're great. They've been fishing with me for a long time, so pretty good reds there. And then going offshore, our buddy Carl from Salty Dolphin Charters out of Freeport says it's amberjack season reopened again on Wednesday, August 1st. So with the calm seas, you should be able to go out and get hooked up with some good amberjack right now. And now that the water temp, is a little warmer than the spring season, the fish should be a little higher up in the water column. Amberjack are reef fish, so you're going to want to focus on underwater structure like rock piles and the legs of the oil platforms. Normal tactics such as large, 10 circle hooks with live hardtails or cut bonito work really good. And using a, 200-pound mono leader does the job. This time of year, you're going to want to go ahead and do like a 6-ounce sinker, which will work good to get you down to the fish. Just make sure you have good tackle and plenty of rest because these big AJs sure do put up a fight. And there's a picture there of our friend, lady angler, Samantha Nicole, with a nice amberjack. And also, the blackfin tuna bite is heating up since we finally got the calm weather that we've needed. And there's several different options for catching blackfin tuna right now. The closest to the action right now is what we talked about last week with the shrimp boat in the 180 to 200 foot range. And chumming with the cut cigar minnows and chunking out a whole minnow on a 4 to 6 aught live bait hook will do the trick. And when you may have to cull through some bonita until the blackfins show up, but when you do, it's going to be worth the wait. Going out a little further, the east and west cerveza rigs, which are about 80 to 90 miles out, are holding some nice blackfin tuna as well. And for overnight trips, the Boom Bang and Nansen floaters, which are about 125 miles out, are producing nice boxes of blackfin with an occasional yellowfin. And there's a picture there of a nice box of blackfin tuna from a ladies' trip last week with Salty Dolphin Charters.
Nice.
Well, Caleb, I have a question for you. You know, one of the techniques that they use in the east coast of Florida as well as in the Florida Keys is they use pilchards. In y'all's case, it would be a pogie. Do you take a live well full of pogies offshore and potentially chum those blackfin tunas up? If you do, how does that work?
Yeah, pretty much, that chunking technique, just taking that, cutting it up, chumming it, and then taking, that realistic looking, bait there and, just trying to fool them with what you're chunking in the water. That's always been a real good technique around here.
All right, so I got a tip for you. I want you to tell Carl when you talk to him. When you got those fish boiling on the surface all in and around the boat, instead of using a white fly or a white lure, because guys like to catch them on artificials, if you'll use a red or an orange fly, which is so unconventional, the bonitas will not bite it, but the tunas will. So keep that in mind.
There you go,
How
man.
you like that, boy?
Words from the wise.
All right, man. We're going to go ahead and take a look at the CCA Upper Coast hotspots. Oh, man, he's wrote a book here. Inshore Reds have been active in Sabine on the jetties, the ship channel, and the Louisiana side of the shoreline in Galveston. They've been in open water schools, back lakes, and marsh ponds, as well as in the grass on both the north shoreline of West Bay. And then offshore, amberjacks in 200 feet of water around structures such as the rock piles and rig legs using live hardtails on 10-0 circle hooks with a 6-ounce sinker. Amberjacks will range from 40 to 70 pounds right now. That's a big AJ.
It is a big AJ, and I'm very proud of you. High five on that novel. Finally
Novel.
read a book. It's his first book. All right, let's hear from Johnny Geis in the Upper Fresh region.
He's so mean.
Not only telling us the report for Lake Tawakoni and Fork, but also how the ladies can get involved. We're listening, Johnny.
I love this.
Hey, Rick and Brie, how y'all today?
What's going on, Johnny?
Hey, man, I'll talk about Lake Fork first. We host over 50 tournaments a year, believe it or not, there, having numerous large open events like Mega Bass, Legends of Lake Fork, Skeeter Owners Tournament, and the Big Bass Splash, which is coming up in September. Well, with the slot limit on Fork, the tournaments are mostly Big Bass of the Hour type events, and the ladies and kids, they got an equal chance to win and cash in on hourly prizes. The Fork probably has more women tournament angler fisher persons than any other lake, and they usually seem to win a good many hourly checks. The Fork also has 2 full-time women fishing guides, Barbara Stevenson and Terry Moon. So the PC this week, I'm going to focus on Terry Moon, guiding on big crappie on Lake Fork. He's probably the most busy and consistent guide on Fork at this time for crappie. He's been guiding on Fork for over 30 years, and he stays extremely busy from spring through fall. Terry upgraded her crappie boat this year to a brand new Skeeter Solera with a Yamaha show motor, and she's very proud of that new ride. Her customers love that spacious and comfortable seating, and Terry can handle up to 4 anglers at a time. You can be seen almost daily at noon around Lake Fork Marina cleaning dock, laying her customers' catch, bagging them up for a trip home. She takes that extra care with the customers from start to finish, and she always does that with a big smile on her face, too. Terry's success does not come by accident. Several times a year, each year, too, Terry goes out in her flat deck boat with loads of fresh willow tops, places them in strategic locations, provides excellent habitat for a big crappie. A lot of hard work, absolutely necessary for the great success she has putting customers on limits of crappie. She's an excellent crappie guide and has a lot of patience in teaching her new clients how to catch crappie. Provides all the tackle bait needed and usually has fresh baked snacks as well. Can't beat that. You can book Terry by calling Lake Fork Marina or call her directly from her Facebook page. Promise you won't be disappointed and you'll make some great memories. I got a couple pictures. Here's one of Terry with the large crappie recently.
And another picture of 4 ladies on one trip, and they each had a limit. So it was a pretty good trip, I'd say.
Hey, look at the smile on those girls, man. They having more fun than me and Brie here. All right, what else you got for us, Johnny?
Well, on species number 2 tonight, we're going to talk about some huge catfish over at Lake Chewauquee. So if you're looking to book a trophy blue catfish trip, consider a trip with Captain Terry Littlejohn on Lake Chewauquee this fall. Michael and Terry Littlejohn run a very busy guide service on Chewauquee. They mainly target stripers and hybrids and whites, but also put the customer on big trophy blue catfish as well as crappie. Terry's got her own guide boat. She stays booked up year-round also. She left the corporate world several years back. She joined on Michael in the guide business and enjoys her job very much. Terry loves to take out the ladies and the youngsters and see them catch the biggest fish of their life. She knows the business well. She knows how to read that graph, and she sure knows how to locate and catch the big one. Chewauquee provides world-class trophy blue catfishing. It's fairly common for customers to catch and release numerous trophy blues over 35 pounds on each trip. Setting up and targeting those blue catfish kind of like big game hunting. You really have to work on it, but there's an adrenaline rush involved, and you definitely remember that experience. So if you're looking to book an exciting fishing trip, come out and check out Michael and Terry Littlejohn Guide Service. Not too soon to book a big blue cat trip for this fall. We'll take a look at this picture with Terry of a few of the cats like I'm talking about. Now that's some fishing.
Wow.
Man, those are some serious dudes there, Johnny. So, hey, Johnny, I want to ask you something. You know those big catfish, do you guys fillet those catfish and eat them that way? Or obviously you don't cut the heads off and eat them like a small catfish. They'd take off a big plate for that, wouldn't you think?
Might.
No, they're such a precious commodity. Anything over 10 pounds, they usually turn those back, especially the big ones over 35. Take a lot of good pictures, but the best eating ones are under 10 pounds anyway, so that's what they target or they take home with their clients.
All right, I got another question for you. You talked about a lot of eating fish tonight, catfish and crappies. Mm-hmm. Johnny, how would you prepare those for me and Brie if we came and caught a mess of them with you?
Well, I'm the old school kind of guy. We're going to put the peanut oil in the fish fire, and we're going to cornmeal them up real good, and maybe have a little bit of cold beer to go with them, but we're going to eat the fish.
All right, can we have some hush puppy chasers?
Oh, we can have all the sides that go with it, but when we eating crappie, that's you can't beat that with some fries and some hush puppies and maybe a little dessert to go with it.
And cold beer.
Yeah. All right, Johnny, thank you for the local knowledge. We're going to go ahead and take a look at some hot spots from the Upper Fresh region. He says Lake Fork, water levels are below 1 foot. Crappie, excellent on minnows and jigs. Bass are fared on drop shots and shaky head worms. And then Lake Chewauquee, stripers, hybrids, and white are excellent on shad and slabs. And then catfish on cut bait and live shad. Early in the morning schooling activity on the mid-lake area is going to work for those hybrids and stripers.
Your reading skills are impressing me tonight. I'm very, very impressed with you.
Oh, thank you so much.
You said it. We're casting to our Middle Fresh region next, but first we got to see what Dave has for us at the CCA Workbench after this break. Dave?
Is my hair messed up?
Yes.
It's nice, isn't it?
It's
Look
nice.
at that. Look at that.
Wow.
Look, I got UV.
See, there's even a bright light shining on Dave.
I got
tonight.
green and UV.
Say, don't look into the light.
I got
We'll be
everything.
right back.
I got it all.
The Texas Insider Fishing Report is brought to you by Rapala. Catch the latest at Rapala.com. Yeti, built for the wild. Building Conservation Trust, CCA's National Habitat Program. Startron, cures and prevents ethanol fuel problems. And Casa Vieja Lodge, 5-star angling in beautiful Guatemala.
When you've got an incredible opportunity in front of you, you want a Yamaha VMAX SHO behind you. Just ask 2017 Toyota Bassmaster Angler of the Year, Brandon Polinick. He'll tell you, if you're an aspiring angler with big dreams and a VMAX SHO, there's no limit to what you could achieve. Light, fast, fuel-efficient V6 performance and Yamaha reliability that lets you focus on your game. Nothing pushes you like a Yamaha VMAX SHO.
And that's all we need. We need next quarter so we can respond to everything.
Yeah? Stop working right now! Look outside. Is this spreadsheet weather? No, it's not. This is fishing weather, so stop clicking, get out there, and catch a bass. Stop what you're doing and start fishing Rapala Ripstop.
Thanks for tuning in to the Texas Insider Fishing Report. Be sure to like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter and Instagram to keep up with our captains, contests, and appearances. You never have to miss a show. You can find full episodes as well as special segments right on our homepage. Just head to TexasInsiderFishingReport.com for everything you need to know to stay hooked up.
So we're here at the CCA workbench, Dave,
Yes,
and
sir.
no Brie this time, but we
No.
got lots of new products.
I miss her already.
Yeah.
We're talking about the Academy CCA saltwater fishing belt right here. This is a cool little thing, especially if you're wading. It's got a nice Velcro a waistband on it. It's got a nice rod holder, which is essential if you're in the water. If you're putting a new lure on or taking a fish off, you got to have some place to put your reel so it doesn't go in the water. Comes with a nice big G2 stringer with brass pins on it, so you can take the fish if you'd like and put them on that stringer. But this is a really cool thing to have. If you're going to be doing any kind of wading at all, for sure, you got to have some sort of belt, and this is a great one to get there. The Coastal Conservation Association is
no doubt. And the cool part is it's wide enough that you can attach your plier pouch to it as well.
Correct. And also, you know what? It helps your back. When you put one of those Velcro things on, if you're walking a long way, it actually gives you a little back support if you wear it up high enough.
And from my duck hunting days, I know that being able to take that belt and put it around your waist, around your waders, it'll also keep the water from getting in if you go a little too deep.
Correct. All right, next we have, I fish at night a lot, and this is a really cool headlamp that I bought at Academy today, actually. It's a Quaro. It's a 100 lumen headlamp. It's got 5 different light modes. That's the UV and the green LED. On the other side, it's got 100 lumen white light. That's the high beam, and then they got a low beam and a spot strobe as well. The more you click it, it'll keep going. And it'll go 3 hours on those 3 AAA batteries on continuous on the high, and it'll go for 12 hours on the low. So it's amazing. It's a good little light. It comes with batteries, which is rare, and it also has a nice little thing. You can fit it to your head. You can wear it. Yeah,
I like it.
I
it's
love
cool.
Them. Yeah,
I like the fact
fish
that
at night,
it's
so.
adjustable too.
Correct. It'll adjust. You can put that over a hat.
Yeah.
If you want to. With here we have some Diamond fishing products. These are the safety rod and reel leash. And if you're going to be fishing offshore with big gear, we always put one of these on it, because as we're pounding out or pounding in, stuff's bouncing around back there. And what you'll do is you'll clip one of these to your rod and reel, and you'll have one clipped around a cleat or a rope around the bottom of the chair, something like that, to keep your rods and reels in the boat. And this is a 1,000-pound monofilament. These are all stainless steel rigging, so you're never going to start rusting out. Really good stuff, and it coils up so it doesn't lay all over the deck, which is a big deal
and
when you're fishing offshore.
Is this part is not going to chip your gel coat.
It ain't
so
gonna
this
mess.
is hooked to the reel, it's hooked to the cleat, and as this is bouncing around,
it ain't gonna
it's
mess
not
with
going to beat
nothing.
up on your gel coat.
No, it comes in white or black.
Oh, cool.
All right, and this is some nice O-Search Remora Costas, and these are a smaller frame.
These are for the ladies.
Well, boys could wear those too, man. I don't see anything wrong with. I'd wear. Yeah, look at those. Those look nice. I think your boy actually has his name on these. I opened up the box and saw his name on it.
Who, Rich?
Yeah, I think he wants those.
I got bad news for Rich.
Style, grace, and grip, man. They won't slip. They got the Hydro Grip on there. That's the sea glass color. They come in either tiger shark or sea glass. It's every purchase.
I look good.
You do. Every purchase of those goes to the O-Search guys who go out and try to help sharks. Sharks are in deep trouble, and when they, these things, every time they sell one of those O-Search Remoras, a little bit of money goes to the shark research. So.
What else you got?
Last but not least, we got a Yeti Rambler. We got 30 seconds. It's a 14-ounce mug. I bought these because my son was going away to college, and he's a big coffee guy. They're super insulated. It'll keep your stuff hot or cold. just a real. I like the shape of it and everything.
Dave, I
It's nice and
apologize
low.
that you had to buy these because
No
I
worries.
promise you, I ordered one of these 4 weeks ago for you.
Yeah, I got you.
But they're so popular that
They're hard to get a hold of.
I'm the last guy to get one.
I
Man.
know.
All the retail stores got to get
They
them
come in a
order
lot
to
of
send
different.
them
They
to
come
us.
in a lot of different colors.
Reds
So
and
if you're a
greens.
coffee guy, this is a perfect thing for you.
Dave, great.
Plus, you can have your chili in there.
You really earned your money tonight. You had
Why
to deal
not?
with Brie and me, and it's all beautiful.
I know. All I'm going to say, Dave, is you might want to check Rick's pockets over there because I saw him try to take something.
Did he
All right. Yes, Matt Loescher in the Startron Middle Fresh region gets his wife out on the water all the time and has a few suggestions for you ladies wanting to give fishing a shot. So, Matt, talk to us.
Hey, guys. Yeah, I want to start off this week just by saying to all the ladies out there, I want to encourage you all watching to just get out there and give fishing a try. You know, my wife comes fishing with me all the time, and I take ladies fishing all the time that have a great time. And sometimes they get out there and they don't realize how good they really are at fishing. You know, they just really never give it a shot. And then they get out there and they learn, and they end up kicking their husband's butt, catching a bunch of fish, and it's a lot of fun. So get out there and give it a shot. You know, in the Middle Fresh region here, we've got a lot of opportunities, a lot of different ways you can get involved in fishing as a lady. And there's a lot of women out there doing it. You know, there's different things you can do, like, for example, couples tournaments are a popular one in this region. We've got a lot of different couple circuits that you can get involved in if you want to go fish with your husband and maybe you just want to kind of try it out. You know, you can just do a Google search for couples tournaments. And there's several different circuits that have ladies divisions and couples divisions. So you can try that, and that's a lot of fun. Or if you want to just kick your husband out of the boat and do it on your own, there's some associations for that too. There's ladies that do it all on their own and have some great events. A standout in that category is a group called the Lady Bass Anglers Association. These girls, they travel the country. It's a national circuit for bass fishing circuit, but they do frequent the Texas lakes. In fact, their 2019 tournament schedule just came out, and it includes an event on Toledo Bend and a championship on Caddo Lake. So there's 2 Texas tournaments right there. So if you're a Texas lady in the Middle Fresh region, you got 2 tournaments coming your way that you can get in on. I spoke with Miss Penny McCurdy, who is a member of their association and fishes all their tournaments, and she told me all about how they're growing the sport, how their tournaments work and stuff. And it was really great to hear about all the stuff they're doing with their organization. It's really neat because it's a boater, non-boater format tournament, so you don't have a boat. Just because you don't have a boat doesn't mean you can't get out there and fish. You can pair up with one of these ladies that does have a boat and fishes a lot. They're all very welcoming. They encourage any new ladies that want to join to come check out their crew and join their association and check out their passion for bass fishing. It's a lot of fun. Many of those ladies also do seminars and events. If you're just getting started, you can go and check those out where you can learn and meet other women that are out there chasing the fish around. And if you want to check them out online, get a feel for what they're doing, just go look at them at ladybassanglers.com. And if you want to see one of their events come to your home lake, you know, you say, hey, well, I'd like to get a ladies tournament on my home lake. They're always interested in going to new bodies of water. So if you get in touch with them, you can look at their website and find their contact information. You can get in touch with them and see what you need to do to get a tournament on your home lake. And you can have one of those Lady Bass Anglers Association tournaments right there at home and get to know the ladies and have a good time.
Tell us about the picture, bub.
Yeah, this week, ironically, I actually had 2 ladies with me that fished a couple days. And we got out there on Sam Rayburn, and it's Brittany and Hannah there. They caught them both some nice bass over on Sam Rayburn, fishing that grass I've been talking about. And had a lot of fun with those girls this week, which brings me into my next subject, which is bass fishing at Sam Rayburn this week. Still really good over there. You know, it's super hot right now, but it's just pushing those fish more into the grass, and they're doing pretty well. You know, guys are catching a lot of fish over there. I've been going over there a lot, fishing in the morning, and still catching some fish on up in the day. But early in the morning, I'm catching a lot of fish on swim bait over the top of the grass in about 4 to 6 feet of water. And, you know, that technique usually requires a little bit of wind. So if you don't have that wind, you know, you fish with a calm day, then I like to go to a stick worm, like a Senko type bait, or a flute in a watermelon red or a green pumpkin color. On the Senko, I like to put an 1/8 ounce weight on it, just takes it really good and fish it around that scattered grass. Does really well. Got another photo there for you guys real quick of Cliff with a bass we caught out there doing just that. Had a good time with him. And then lastly, crappie on Toledo Bend, biting a little better. They're picking up. We're catching some higher numbers. Still out there in the standing timber, 20, 30 foot of water, sitting in the shade of the tree. Live minnows are the way to go.
All right, Matt, thanks for following up. We're going to go ahead and take a look at the hot spots from the Middle Fresh region. Bass are chasing swim baits and biting slow-falling worms and flukes on Sam Rayburn in 4 to 6 foot depth. And then at Toledo Bend, crappie are biting minnows in the shade of standing timber in 20 to 30 feet of depth.
All right, guys, well, there you have it. Ladies, get out there on the water. As you can see, there's a lot of different tournaments, and the guides are always wanting to take you out, teach you new things. And my one thing is ask questions.
Yeah,
if you don't ask questions, you're not going to learn. Don't be embarrassed. That's what I did, and you know, I've learned so much.
She's a heck of an angler, isn't she, Dave?
Right.
Yes, she is. Happy birthday, my wife, to my lovely wife.
There we go.
Thank
Happy
you
birthday.
for everything.
Right. Have a good time out on the water. We'll see you next week.
Dave is in the doghouse when he's begging like that.